everybody, and welcome back to the Her Hoop Stats podcast. My name is Chelsea Leite, and I am joined by my twin, Tyler DeLuca, who was boots on the ground, studs in the buds, dubs in the chat this weekend at WNBA All-Star Weekend. Finally back to chop it up with us on the podcast. As we said, yesterday was our 50th episode, so happy 51st Her Hoop Stats podcast since we started the W season. I feel like halfway into the season, 50 pods is like, it's a good,
well, when you're going number. 5 days a week,
literally it'll add up. Stay tapped in. Exactly. Stay tapped in. Yeah, and I mean, what a great way to say make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already.
I got you with the lob.
Yeah. We haven't had a game in nearly a week, but tonight the WNBA is back. I mean, we were fed the whole weekend, so it's not like we're really missing much.
Yeah, we all were.
you were fed with liquid, and not
allegedly.
Allegedly,
it was AI.
It was AI. For those of you who don't know, Tyler DeLuca was caught on the Stud Buds.
Not the full name. Jeez. Yeah,
dropping the name. Was caught on the Stud Buds stream not once but twice. And so I think that makes you Stud Buds official, but. That was okay. So let's break it down because so yesterday Jamie and I went over our favorite Stud Buds moments, and of course you being on the stream was one of those moments, but I want to hear your experience from the other side of the Stud Buds podcast. So the first time you get on, it's skills night. That
was really me just genuinely joking. Like the camera was just there. I was like, it'd be funny. Like, because here's in my head, I'm like, okay, this is my one chance to get on Stud Buds. Like just to jokingly like send it to people or whatever. Like just complete BSing, completely honest. Like that was. The camera was just there. Let me walk by, and I could do the SpongeBob meme where he's pointing at himself in the commercial, like, and that's it. And that was gonna be my Stud Buds experience for the weekend.
Yeah.
Little did I know.
Little did you know. Tyler ended up at the party of the year, something like that, and ends up at the party where the Stud Buds are later that night, and ends up on the stream again, but this time unexpectedly because you look like a deer in the headlights.
No, here's the thing. Let me explain that face, okay? So, first off, you have they have like a light and everything with them and everything. Like,
it's like it's
like a whoa, like it wasn't even like oh my god, it's the Stud Buds. It was dang, that light is bright. Like that was really what that face was. It wasn't like a oh my goodness, I'm caught. Like I looked like I got caught red-handed doing something incredibly wrong, and that was not my like emotion at all. Like I wasn't like I didn't know that they were there when they had initially like walked up, and like I guess when that screenshot got I guess that was my initial reaction, but it really wasn't some like incredible surprise of like oh my god, like I can't believe I'm on Stud Buds, but that certainly is how it looked. I mean,
it looked like you had called in sick to your boss,
right,
and then told them that you were in bed sick.
Got caught at a Coldplay concert.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like you got caught at a Coldplay concert. It looked like you called in sick, and then you knew your boss was watching Stud Buds. And then the funniest part was that friend of the pod, Talia von Olhoffen, decided to put some pink hair on you. So shout out to her because that was hilarious.
No, she asked me. She's like, "Can I tweet this picture out? Like just like the normal." Like picture it. I'm like, no, Talia, she's hilarious on Twitter. I was like, okay, she's probably just gonna use this as like a reaction picture to something or whatever.
Yeah,
totally fine. I had no indication at all that I was gonna get edited with pink hair, but it was incredible. Very funny. So look, man.
I think you could rock it. I think you could rock the pink hair.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
I think you should do the pink goatee.
That's crazy. Look, man, it took me like 3 years to grow this much, man. I'm not ruining this.
Like,
come on now, you know. But no, look, the Stud Buds had the weekend. Like I've been to. This was my third All-Star now. And I have been out like events and stuff like that before, genuinely speaking, the amount of fun that was being had by everyone in totality,
everyone collectively,
like I feel like was such a higher like energy level and like just willingness to have fun. Like I truly believe that like Stud Buds like changed the tone of All-Star Weekend and like changed the fun and like look, there was some moments where you're like, "Oh, I can't believe this is happening on stream." But, like, generally speaking, like, it provided a level of, like, authenticity to the weekend
Mm,
that I thought was, like, super interesting, and again, like, even as someone who is, like, there, boots on the ground, like, in past years and, like, has some level of additional access at different things and
mm.
everything, like, it still was just a completely different vibe, and I'd be interested to see if this was like a one-time thing with
Yeah.
them and, like, and how, like, I in capturing this moment and because like, obviously, like, Caitlyn being out for All-Star Weekend at her hometown was everyone was excited to see the three-point contest and everything, so, like, that had provided, like, an initial kinda, like, dampen on the weekend,
Yeah.
and in the terms of what is going to, quote, unquote, "break containment" now, like, into,
Mhm.
like, the general public discourse and everything, little did we know
Little did we
it
know.
would be stud buds,
Yeah.
and that was it was so much fun, and
Yeah.
they provided so much entertainment, and truly, like, the thing that makes the WNBA unique in the way that it has grown is, like, how much of it has to do with social media, and, like,
Mhm.
generally speaking, like, there's a lower degree of separation between fans and players in the WNBA
Yeah.
than I think any other professional league,
Mhm.
and this stream, it's a different way than, like, a player responding to you on X or something like that. But in
Yeah.
terms of, like, fan access from home, it was just a completely different and new thing that no league has ever seen before. But it
Yeah.
also fits in incredibly well with what the WNBA has been built on. So shout out to the Stud Buds.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what comes next and how the WNBA tries to capitalize, on,
Mhm.
like, this unique thing. Like, it's happened naturally. Like,
Oh, yeah,
this was
and
never
even
the plan.
no, and Cheryl was saying yesterday at, Lynx practice that,
Mhm.
like, one, yeah, she was like, "These players are so eager to share their stories and
Mhm.
connect with fans," and also, like, I think she said this over the weekend as well, that, like, the, a level of authenticity that they have and that they're allowed to have these days,
Yeah.
especially compared to, like, years past in the
Mhm.
WNBA is, like, such progress, and I think that's something important to note as well, that, like, the WNBA has just really turned into this league where it's just so open and people can
Right.
be exactly who they are and not have to hide. And, I know that's a thing in other leagues, especially when it comes to men's sports,
Mm.
about, certain stereotypes and stigmas and
Mhm.
all that. So I think my hope with the stud buds is like, um, I feel like I'm saying this so seriously about stud buds, but like
But
I hope
it's true.
it's
Like,
true. Like
there's a genuine, like, real potential shift here
yeah, in, like,
in how
sports
things be. Yeah,
discourse, and,
absolutely.
like, with men, with women, with other leagues, with people being, like, more comfortable being just who they are and,
Mhm.
knowing that the fans are going to genuinely love the authenticity, I think it's something that other sports leagues could really, capitalize on and
Yeah.
really, just really open it up in terms of making sure that people feel comfortable just being who they are, so, yeah, I glad to hear that perspective from you as someone
Mm.
who was, like, there and, like, experiencing it in
Mhm.
person. Because Jamie and I were experiencing it at home. We also yesterday on the pod committed to, we are calling ourselves the non-stud stud buds, and,
Mhm.
we're gonna go to Iowa State, and Jamie is going to get us fitted in tracksuits,
Mhm.
and we're gonna do our own version of a weekend of
Okay.
Iowa State action. So
Okay.
that's our plan.
Alright.
But, anyway, so that was the weekend. Now
Yeah.
we're heading into, I guess, like, this is kind of the official start of the second half
Yeah.
of the WNBA season. Like, it gets
I
serious
and
now.
look, everyone was on their way home, relaxing. "Alright, let's take a quick breath before we get back to these games super quickly." And
Yeah.
the Liberty said, "Hold on.
Hold
We
on.
we've been
You're
locked in.
We've been locked in.
We've been
And, like,
locked in."
while you're all kind of resting, also Jonathan Kolb's birthday, sure.
Dude, I'm so jealous. My
Like,
birthday's on Thursday, and I want to make a fan base as happy as he did right before my birthday. So
you can
everyone's
make
like,
the Her Hoop Stats fan base as happy.
I just want a fan base to be that excited to tell me happy birthday before Thursday.
And,
Like,
like, what a thing to do on your birthday. Like, do you know how when you're
dude,
like, "Oh, I went out for dinner on my birthday." No,
yeah.
I, like, made some moves that are probably going to win my franchise.
I signed probably a top 10 player in the world halfway
Yeah,
through the season.
halfway through the season when there was like, every team probably would have made moves to sign her if she wanted to go
Yeah.
there. Yeah, for sure. So for those of you who aren't aware, yesterday, which was Monday in the afternoon, after Jamie and I recorded, the New York Liberty announced that they will be signing Emma Mieseman to to a rest of season contract. And if you're watching on YouTube, you know that Tyler is just
There's no way.
absolutely. It's like, for me as someone who enjoys watching New York Liberty basketball, I'm thrilled. Like, that's great. For people who don't like the New York Liberty, I'm so sorry for you.
Yeah,
If you're newer to the WNBA and you don't know who Emma Mieseman is, like, again, Tyler said it best. Top 10 player coming into the league. She is European, I think Belgium,
Mhm,
Belgium, yeah.
mhm,
And so hasn't really played in the W for the past few seasons. Has played in Washington. Has kind of, come in and out of the league. She's like
mhm.
that kind. She has that kind of motion as a player where she can just kind of pop in whenever she wants.
Yeah, because
Um,
she's that good.
because she's that good.
This was the 2019 Finals MVP
Yep.
that just based on her own decision, by nothing to do with any of her talent or anything of that nature, decided just to continue playing overseas instead of coming back to the
Yep.
WNBA, just because there's a real kind of weird rules with like prioritization and obviously
And breaks
like
and
yeah country national team obligations, things like that, because she is the key piece into a very good Belgian team that we had seen like at the Olympics and everything. Here's the
yep.
thing: she's 32 right now. However, the form, like 2019 sounds like a long time ago. The form hasn't taken a dip.
No.
That's She's still that
That
damn
good.
good. Like
That
she's
good.
that good. And I'm telling you right now, any team like so the suitors had come down to Minnesota, New York, and Phoenix. So just as important as it was for New York to pick her up and make your team better, you keep her away from your two biggest threats at the
Yep.
WNBA championship. Because if she goes to either one of those teams,
Yep.
she's immediately the second best player on Minnesota. And there's an
Mhm.
argument like Alyssa Thomas has been very good this year, so I don't want to just cast her aside by any means. But there probably would have been an argument that Emma Meesman walks in there and has a chance to be the best player on that team, as a team that has already been playing very, very well this
Very,
season.
very well,
That
yeah.
is the caliber of player. Like she's an MVP caliber player. She hasn't been here to win an MVP and like kind of have a team built around her. But you have
Mhm.
Jonquel and Stewie, who are obviously MVPs in their own right, and then you go and add Meesman. Like this is genuinely on paper, especially when you look at the top of this lineup. But even if you look at the depth, because they have fairly good depth on this Liberty team, this is genuinely on paper immediately one of the most stacked teams that the WNBA has seen.
Well, and you also think about what the New York Liberty specifically needed for to bring their team to the next level, and Jonquel Jones has been out for about a month. You want her to be able to stay healthy for the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
season, be able to heal that ankle well. You have someone like Emma Meesman who comes in, I believe she's 6'4", 6'3", or
Yeah,
six
they
four.
have like six players that are all that same lengthy
Adds
height.
to the front court depth, is able to split those minutes with Jonquel Jones in a way that, like, will not like lessen the value of play on the
Mm-hmm.
court, because you slot in Jonquel Jones, who I think if she was healthy all season would be an MVP candidate just based on
Yeah,
how
I think that's fair.
she has been playing while she's been healthy. And then you have Emma Meesman, who, like you said, is an MVP talk like caliber
Yeah,
player
caliber of player. Yeah.
when she comes into this league. And then you also have Stewie, all-star, past MVP, can turn it up at any point. And then you have Sabrina Ionescu, who has been stepping it up the past few years as well.
Mm.
And then you just add in Leonie Fibish, who, again, makes such an impact on this New York Liberty team, especially when it comes to defense. She's 6'4" as well. I feel like people don't realize that she's six
It's
four,
ridiculous.
because when they play that full lineup, Leonie Fibish plays like the 3 spot, and
Mm-hmm.
you have a 6'4" player
Mm-hmm.
playing at that spot. Um, and then you have Natasha Cloud, who also steps up this team as well, just won the skills contest.
Mm-hmm.
Just like has been such a great addition to this team this year. Also has that chemistry with Emma Meesman, because they won a championship together in 2019 with the
And
Washington
and it's not
Mystics.
just Cloud either, because you look at Jonquel, Stewie, even Sandy Rondell. They've all played or coached
Yes.
in different times in Europe. Like there's obviously you have to see it on the court, and like you never want
Yeah.
to like put the cart before the horse. But like if you were going to, there's plenty of reason to believe that this would be a seamless fit, just because one, I can't emphasize this part enough, how much respect Emma Meesseman has, like in terms of like how good she is. Like
Yeah.
I don't see this being an issue of like players not being able to like quote unquote step aside or anything like that. Like that's not going to be there's so
No.
much respect for what Misamin does, and she can do a little bit of everything that I fully believe that she's just going to be able to slide in and not be any issue. Like it's there's always been in every talk of free agency, there's always been the caveat of, well, yeah, you might sign this player or that player. What if you got Emma Misamin?
Yeah.
Nah, Emma Misamin's not coming back to the
Nah, she's
W.
not
That's
coming.
not
She's
gonna
not
happen.
coming. Yeah.
But there had obviously been this kind of ramp up of discourse and reporting / rumors on Twitter and everything, and now we get to this point where she joins, of all teams, the New
The New
York
York
Liberty. And
Liberty.
like we've seen this New York Liberty franchise be a super team before, right? Like when Stewie and Jonquil came in and Sloot, right? And
Mhm.
that was like version 1. We didn't even know what was coming next. The fact that you were able to go, even just adding Natasha Cloud was upgrade
Yeah.
enough. And now you go
And
get
Leonie
Emma
Fibish was
Misamin.
upgrade enough
Yes,
too. Like,
and
and now you
and
have Emma Misamin.
like it's ridiculous that they have been able to. Obviously, a big part of this was that Benaja was out, and so her
Yeah.
contract was suspended. That was like allowing things like this to happen. But I
Yes.
mean, like, goodness, if you're going to have one of your key cogs like Benaja out,
Yeah.
like they could not have done a better job of positioning themselves to be able to go and make a move like this. But also, it has to do with like their scouting for the last couple of years, like whether it be a Fibich or a Niara Sabali, Rebecca Gardner,
Mhm.
it's these moves that at the time seemed minuscule that end up just proving to be so massive for this New York Liberty team. They've just been the absolute best
Oh
at
yeah.
making those small moves that turn into major, major things later on down the road. And now you going out a player like Misamin, like you got to play the games. And Minnesota has been very, very good, but
Mhm.
goodness gracious, what a hill that they have to climb now, assuming that this works as well as everyone expects it to work out.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember at the beginning of the season, I think maybe even before the season started, I wrote something just like lightly about how Jonathan Kolb was like a lock for executive of the year.
Mm,
And you think about now, like that was after Natasha Cloud and all that stuff.
mhm.
You think about now the fact that he got Natasha Cloud, retained, whoever was free agents, now signs Misamin. They have made a few small moves. I mean, they had to waive Markeisha Davis
Mhm,
last week. They've signed Steph Talbot now.
mhm.
I don't know what the other moves are going to be because Emma Meeseman technically hasn't signed yet in
Yeah.
terms of like the W transactions page. She just committed to signing for the New York Liberty. And so we'll have to see what the repercussions of this are.
Mhm,
But at the same time, like these little moves year by year, and you think about it, this started back in like 2019,
mhm,
2020. You get the new ownership of the New York Liberty. They change all their staff. Sabrina Ionescu gets drafted. You add Benijah Laney.
mhm,
And then slowly these little chess pieces start to move to the fact that now last year you win a WNBA championship and now you're probably the favorites again, regardless of the fact that they're a little bit lower in the standings. Right now they're
mhm.
right now they're second going into
That's
the
what's
second
crazy is
half.
it feels like they've been so down with John Quill out,
Yeah,
and yet they're still just right there. Like
they're right there.
that is the level
I
that this
will
team has been
say
playing at.
they're only half a game above Phoenix. So like that could change
Yeah,
tonight.
and
Like this
they've played I think 3 games less than Minnesota, 3 or 4
yes,
games
yeah.
less.
So like Minnesota has a record right now of 20-4. New York has 15-6. So
Mhm,
like I think they've played like 2 or 3 more games.
mhm,
Um my math is terrible. But then like Phoenix is there at 15-7. So the only reason that Phoenix is below is cuz they've lost 7, but
mhm,
like that they've also played an extra game. So like
mhm,
we're getting to the point now as these teams are now getting into the 20-30 game range where these standings are going to make a lot more sense because like it's going to even up a
mhm.
little bit more. That also means it's going to become tighter
Yep.
and like it's going to be harder to move up and down the standings as much as it was like like a few weeks ago or even like a
Mhm,
month ago. But when you think about last year, like this was the time after the Olympic break last year. This is the time that the Minnesota Lynx like really stepped it up. So like there's still time for a team to like make moves and
for
like
sure.
get up there. And I mean, when you look at the top 4, well, the top 5 even. I mean, the game balance between the Atlanta Dream at 5th and the Minnesota Lynx is 6 games,
Mhm,
but then, like, Seattle Storm is 5.5 games. Phoenix is 4. New York is 3.5. So that tier under the Liberty is just like, it's tight. And then you think about the Indiana Fever coming right back. Washington's in 7th. Vegas is fighting for their playoff spot right now. Like, it's such a wild time to like think about these standings and how much they could change in the
Yeah.
next month. Like, it's and I mean, the trade deadline, I think I was mentioning this yesterday. The trade deadline is on August 7th too, so
Mhm.
that's coming up in a few weeks. I think we might see even more moves happen before
I hope
that
so.
because
Normally, mid-season moves, like,
uh,
don't exist in the WNBA. Like,
yep.
I want chaos. Like, I want these things to happen. I'll be very interested in what Minnesota thinks that they might be able to go
Yeah,
and,
cuz
like, try and I don't know who it would be, but, like,
yeah.
I'd be very excited to see if they think that there's a move there to make. Because again, like, they're right there. Like, Minnesota has been the best team so far during this regular season. Now, maybe you
Yeah.
blame the fact that Jordan Quill got hurt for that, but that doesn't change the fact that Minnesota
No.
has been the best team. But we're about to see them play like 4 times in the next month, the Liberty and
True.
Minnesota. So, like, accidentally, you know what? WNBA, you kind of cooked. But not on purpose. You didn't mean to do this.
You
Because if
didn't mean to cook.
if Evan Meeseman wasn't here, this I would still be mad at you.
True.
Now I'm just slightly
Oh,
annoyed.
we
Because
gotta circle.
we should have seen them play at least once already. But
I know.
you
Whatever.
know, WNBA
They
scheduling.
also Jamie had, like, gone through and figured out who hadn't played who yet, and
Mhm.
technically, other than the Commissioner's Cup game, Minnesota hasn't played Indiana yet either, in a
And
regular
they
season game.
don't play until I I want to say the end of August and like the very beginning of September.
And then they
So like
probably play, like, 4 times in a week.
I think it's they played 3 times in total, and one of those is a
Bro,
back-to-back, like, I think one like a home and home. So,
bro.
if Caitlin's back healthy by then, like,
True.
who knows what the Indiana Fever, like, what their
Ooh.
momentum might be? Because obviously it's just been tough for them to get rolling with the injuries, but
Yeah.
if they're healthy by then, that might be the more of the Indiana Fever team we expected to see this season.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm
It's
very
really
intrigued.
close in that, like, the Indiana Fever are 7.5 games back from the Lynx, but the Washington Mystics are only 8. Like, there's only half a game difference between those 2,
Mhm.
and they're tied technically with Vegas right now at 500. It's, like, wild, and, like, I mean, the Valkyries are right there too. Like,
Mhm.
there's so many different scenarios in which could happen, and when you think about the trade deadline too, there's so many teams that have the safety to make win now moves like Minnesota, New York, because you kind of have that safety net of like, okay, at least most of our core players will probably re-sign with us next year, depending on, there's so much up in the air. But when you
Mhm.
think about free agency, like I would say like Minnesota's core, New York's core, probably pretty safe. And you're in a position to win. So if you're gonna make
Mhm.
win now moves, sure, make them. Phoenix, I think, is in a good spot to make win now moves, and they also, I think, have a lot of like, lower salaries to work with in
But
terms
you
of
ain't got
trading.
many assets because 'cause you've
Yeah,
already used all your draft picks and everything, so I worry about what they
exactly.
could do. I think Minnesota is probably in the best position because they have a couple younger players, like, just to throw like Diamond Miller, for example,
Yeah.
like that, like, maybe it's like a 'cause I think there's a couple rebuilding teams that, like, you might look at and say, like, whether it's, like, I don't know, if you want someone from the Sparks
Yep.
or Connecticut, like a Tina Charles potentially from
Ooh.
Connecticut, and, like, you trade a young player to, like, get one of these teams that are more bottom tier, and, like, whether it's a young player and an asset or whatever that might look
Yep.
like, that would be kinda what I'm eyeing in that
Yeah.
sense is, like, teams that know that, like, they're gonna have to kinda completely retool and how they can potentially get assets off this roster before we go into
Mhm.
this offseason. But yeah, to me, Minnesota is like the team that if I'm looking at a team to make a move, it's them because they have assets, they have young players,
They
and
have
they have
Chicago's pick.
well, good. They better not trade that. Don't
No,
trade.
don't
I'm
trade
tired.
that.
No, please stop trading the lottery picks. I'm gonna. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose it.
The fact
Please,
that they
please
have that
don't.
pick is like one of the my favorite
It's so
talking
crazy.
points of this season. Like, it's just so funny. Like,
Yeah,
they have the potential to finish the season first overall, potentially win the championship, and then maybe get the number 1 pick in the
that
draft.
is
Like, it's
how
so
crazy that
funny.
would
Like,
be.
imagine if, like, an AZ Fudd or, like, a Lauren Betts or a Flauget goes on to
That's going to
Minnesota.
happen. Like that's not even imagining. Like that's like one of those players is going to be in Minnesota next year.
That's so crazy.
Like is if they keep that pick, like the high likely is that's what's gonna happen. Like that's on the way. Like, that is
And it's so funny because everybody on the internet is hating on New York so bad right now for the moves that they're making. Meanwhile, Minnesota's out here fleecing people, and
look,
nobody's mad about it.
it's because it's a super team dilemma, you know, like, if you're a
But
super
is
team.
Minnesota not a super team right
No,
now?
absolutely not.
Okay. But
No, absolutely
they're
not.
winning.
It doesn't matter. You could be a great team but not be the idea of a super team is star players. Minnesota has a lot of great players that are like they fit their role perfectly in the
Yeah,
sense of like if you go and put any of those New York Liberty like superstar players on a team, they make a genuine massive difference. You
yeah,
can't say that about every Minnesota player, but they
right.
fit perfectly in Minnesota.
Together. Yeah,
And they
together.
fit perfectly around Nafisa Collier, just happens to be playing like the best player in the world. You
Ugh,
go and
see.
take those Liberty stars. No, that is a super team as super team gets in terms of the way that
Okay,
it's been built.
but, and, this season's performance aside, is Las Vegas still a super team or no?
No, no, absolutely not.
But
No,
what yeah, okay.
and even then, like it's
But what
still
was the difference between them being a super team, like, a year or 2 ago and now? 'Cause really the only
well,
difference is Kelsey Plum.
well, they were bad last year too, like
Yeah.
so in a
But,
lot of ways.
so I
But
guess they
also,
just didn't live up to the name, is what you're saying? When
yeah,
people were saying, like, "Oh, this is a super team?"
they forgot the being super part. They were just a team.
Stop, they were
Like
just a team.
like they were a fine team last year.
Yeah.
That
Okay, yeah,
and the thing is also I do think to me like when I think of super team, like I
yeah,
do think that there is a genuine vibe difference in like how you build your team.
true.
Whereas like Vegas, you go and get like Chelsea Gray, like to build that team, like and like
Yeah,
you to kind of get that upper level. And like making additions is one thing, and like Chelsea Gray was a heck of an addition. But like
yeah.
that wasn't like they built through the draft for the majority of that. New
Mhm.
York, you got you in one offseason,
True.
you turn into a super team, and now you're a super duper team with Cloud and Mieseman. So
Yeah.
like to me, it's just a different vibe, and yeah, and you got to be super. You got to go win.
It's
Like
giving, basketball ownership group can have one successful super team in a decade, and they tried with Brooklyn and they tried with New York Liberty, and the one that was successful, we can tell which one it was
yeah,
because
and
that super team in Brooklyn, didn't end up doing anything.
yeah, I mean, I
And
think it's in a lot of ways like it's the difference between signing through free agency and building in
yeah,
that way versus trading your assets. Like Phoenix traded their assets
yeah,
to build their core three of superstars. They just did a
yeah.
heck of a job with their scouting, with
Oh,
the rookies and everything. So
yeah.
and the new faces that they brought
Fantastic.
in, they just I don't want to say lucked out because obviously like it
No.
was purposeful,
I
but
just hope their scouts are getting paid, that's what I
like yeah, like because there is a very real timeline where this team doesn't work out and then they have no assets at all and you're stuck, right?
Yeah.
That's the danger of a super team. New York just got to build it through free agency. They just signed Emma Mieseman just cuz.
'Cause all her friends were there. She's like, "I wanna hang out with my friends."
Literally. And like they didn't even trade much for Cloud either. Like it wasn't even like
No.
some massive like haul.
No.
Like
They just gave away their pick,
they
which,
just
they
keep
didn't even need.
they just keep fleecing. And like
Yeah.
shout out to them. Like, I would do the same thing if I could. But like it's absolutely super team. And like, I mean, genuinely on paper, like when you look at just name value and like, obviously this isn't prime Mieseman, this isn't
Yeah.
prime Stewie, but like
But, their prime is so good that, their
they're
non-prime
still
is so
ridiculously
good.
good players. Like if
Yeah.
this had this team come together in 2019, like like Mieseman and Stewie in 2019, like it's different, but
Yeah.
it's still a ridiculously good team and
It's
a
still a
super team.
championship level team,
It's not just championship level team, it's championship or bust. If they don't win
yeah.
the championship, it's a
True.
total disappointment.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
is there is no higher expectation now in the entire basketball world than the New York Liberty winning a championship now.
Yeah, and do you know
Welcome
who's
back to
trying
the
to
underdog, Minnesota.
yeah, do
I
you know
hope
who's coming to stop them? The Stud Buds.
all this to beat the stud buds,
All
bro.
this to beat the Stud Buds. All
All
this
this
to stop the live stream of the championship parade of the Stud
all this
Buds.
just to beat the stud buds. And New York Liberty hate fun.
They hate fun. They hate the stud buds.
The agenda I might have to start pushing.
Honestly, like, I want this New York Liberty team to win. Like, I don't know. Like, when it comes to New York, Minnesota, like, I genuinely would be happy with either of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I get what you mean about championship or bust. But, like, there's a part of me that's like, if the Liberty win, then we're going to lose out on the stud buds championship bust stream. And that is a little sad. That's a little sad.
No, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about, like, what this could do for Nafisa Collier and her legacy and her stardom, because it's already, like, kind of, it's been on the rise, obviously, like, as she, like, pretty much since she came back from pregnancy, and, like, just, like, the year by year, like, the rise that has just in her play, in her star power, and the marketing that you see around her. If she goes and pulls this off, I mean, we'll have to see how it goes down, but we are talking
about the statue. Build the statue.
About one of, like, the greatest runs that a player could potentially go on.
Yeah, and I mean, like, when you think about too, I mean, it's an old narrative, the fact that, like, women can't come back from childbirth and, like, still be elite athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's kind of a tired argument, but, like, if anybody ever brings it up again, you literally just have to point to Nafisa Collier and be like,
she got way better.
Yeah.
Like,
way better. Like literally
literally best in the world better.
Yeah.
Like,
like it made her better.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a direct correlation, but
she's a mother.
She's a mother, not just to her child, but to the rest of her team, as we've been seeing on stud buds.
Yeah.
I almost said spud buds.
Yes, time to go.
Little potatoes. We gotta get them like a French fry sponsorship,
like
and then and then they're called spud.
You know, that's actually not a bad idea.
You know what? Call me.
I'll
make the deal.
The way that they kept calling Caitlyn like it was a State Farm commercial.
Oh my god! Well, we mentioned that on the podcast yesterday too, about how your State Farm commercial idea was really great. Because literally every time that I'm gonna have a minor inconvenience now, I'm gonna yell, "Where's Caitlin Clark?"
Where's Caitlin?
Call Caitlin Clark.
Call Caitlin.
Oh man. But yeah, we've been yapping. Actually, we have one last bit of news that we need to talk about that we haven't mentioned yet that happened today, right before we started recording, which is our close personal friend, Latricia Trammell, was announced as
fellow
Okie, friend of the pod, was announced as the special assistant to the head coach for the LA Sparks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've noticed that she's been working there or like around the team this season, so this is like the official announcement, but she be employed, and we'd love that for her.
I'm very excited for LT. Me and LT have a great relationship, so I'm very excited for her. I imagine it like the Gordon Ramsay, like, coming in and like, we're gonna get this straight. Like, you know, like, I don't think that's actually what's gonna happen.
No, it's more of like
I'm picturing it in my head. Like,
people have been posting, like, under replies of my tweet about it, the gifs of Dwight Schrute, assistant to the regional manager, which I don't think it's going to be that vibe, but I just think that's hilarious. And I think she's just going to, like, kind of counsel the coaching staff and like, you know,
I'm just glad to see, like, that she's actively, like, within an organization, because to me personally, still, and I know I've talked about this before, but like, I would have loved to see her get a run with this Wings roster and like get a chance with it. So I'm fully, I fully hope and believe that she should be a head coach again in the WNBA. So
I feel like
we're on the way to that.
Like with the LA Sparks, they're down a front office member because Eli Horowitz is now a Toronto Tempo. Let's go. And so having someone like LT with a lot of experience to come in and not fill the same role, but like just provide support to this team, I think is necessary when you lose someone like an assistant general manager. So, definitely great to see her, back in the league officially. But yeah, I think someone who definitely deserves to have a head coaching job, did really great things in her tenure with the Dallas Wings. And you're right, seeing Paige Beckers on an LT team would have been good. Would have been fun. But yeah, congratulations to her. I don't think any big news has dropped since we've been recording. We'll see. As soon as we hit like end record, it's gonna happen. I mean, Emma Meesman's gonna go somewhere. No, I'm kidding. Imagine. So anyway, but yeah, that's the big news of the day. We got some LT news. We got some signings. The W is back tonight with a full slate. Of course, we're going to be 4 screens deep. It's funny. I'm not even going to watch tonight because I'm going to a play. So, but I will be logging into my League Pass tomorrow and rewatching on 4 screens. So yeah. But anyways, we'll be back tomorrow with actual game coverage and actual season talk. We'll see when Emma Meesman actually signs and starts with the Liberty. I hope it's soon because like we said, we want to see that product. But make sure to subscribe to Her Hoop Stats to make sure that you are here when that happens, when we start talking about it. And follow us on X, Instagram, Blue Sky, and subscribe to herhoopstats.com for all of the latest league information, newsletter, stats, all that fun stuff. For this, what day is it today? Tuesday edition of the Her Hoop Stats podcast. I'm Chelsea Leite. That's Tyler DeLuca. You can find our social medias if you're watching on the screen, or BMAC, put them in the description. I'm just yelling at him now behind the scenes. Sorry, love you, BMAC. Twins, dubs in the chat for Twin. BMAC, dubs in the chat. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time.